What up, guys? So boy here wants to be classic for speaking. You know how we do it. We simplify, decomplicate. So we're going to do some weekly market breakdowns. Let's start with GBP JPY. Now, GBP JPY, we are starting on the 3 months time frame. We have the upper zone, the middle zone, and then the lower zone. Now, let's talk about the structure of the market here on GBP JPY. So we have equal highs, we have equal lows, we have lower high. What exactly has happened within this structure? Buyers have been able to break above the lower high of the 3 months with a minor push, minor exhaustion. Where do we go? We move continuously to the upside to create equal highs on the 3 months resistance level. So GBP JPY, this is the entire structure of the 3 months time frame. Price is heading to the resistance level as explained over here. So what are we going to do with GBP JPY? We are going to continuously look for buying opportunities to the upside. But how do we pick our buying opportunities? Let's take it again to the monthly time frame. Look at what the monthly is saying and how the market will continuously be going to the upside. So this is the monthly time frame of GBP JPY. Let's explain. We have the monthly upper and the monthly lower zone. Price is in an uptrend on the monthly time frame. We can see a push over here as higher high. We have a retest as higher low. What is going to happen again? Continuational push, which will give us what? A new higher high. So since buyers on the monthly have been able to break above this previous higher high, we are definitely heading to this resistance as the next higher high. So how are we going to pick entries above to go to the upside? Let's find out as we take it over again to the weekly time frame of GBP JPY. This is GBP JPY on the weekly time frame. Let's put meaning into it. On the weekly of GBP JPY, we have the weekly mid-range zone. Price is also in an uptrend in the weekly time frame because this is a weekly push as higher high. This is also exhaustion as higher low. Where do we go from here? We move continuously to create the next higher high on the monthly resistance level. So GBP JPY on the weekly time frame, it is very clear that price will be moving to the upside. But how do we come up with the buying opportunities? Let's take it lower again to the daily time frame and continue with the breakdown. This is the daily time frame of GBP JPY. Let's understand certain things clearly over here. On the daily, we have what? The equal lows of the daily that got broken to the downside to form what? A lower low. After that, price went up for lower high but failed to continue to the downside. Why did price fail? Because this is the higher low of the weekly, which is supposed to bring in buy pressure to move the market to the upside. That is why this what? Downtrend failed on the daily, because price should be going to the upside. Now, what exactly has happened on the daily? On the daily, we can see that buyers have broken above the daily resistance with a push to the upside. Now, once buyers are above the daily resistance, what are we going to do? We're going to look for entries above to go all the way to the upside. So GBP JPY, how do we pick entries above the daily resistance to the upside? Let's find out as we take it over again to the 4-hour time frame. This is the 4-hour time frame of GBP JPY, and this is where we are going to pick our entry. But first of all, let's understand the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, price is what? In a range or a consolidation period. Why? Because there's equal lows and there's also equal highs, which gives us what? A range or a consolidation period. But this range or consolidation has been broken by buyers to the upside with a push. So we're expecting this push to go a little bit up to give us a higher high. After that, we wait for a retest as higher low, and we'll be able to buy to the upside of GBP JPY. So GBP JPY, this becomes our full and complete technical analysis. Simple as that. So we're waiting for price to give us what? The next higher high, because it has broken above equal highs. Once you get the next higher high, we wait for the next high low, and we buy continuously to the upside on GBP JPY. So GBP JPY, this is our full and complete technical breakdown. All right, on to the next pair. Now the next pair that I'm going to tackle over here is gold. Let's move to gold. Let's move to gold very quick. So gold is up next. What exactly is happening on gold? Let's take it to the weekly time frame and then start from there. All right. So this is the weekly time frame of gold. Now, gold on the weekly time frame, we have the weekly upper, the mid-range, and then the lower zone. Price is in an uptrend over here. Why? This is a weekly push as higher high. We have weekly exhaustion as higher low. Weekly continuational push giving us a new higher high. Price drop down for a higher low. Where do we go from here? We move continuously back to previous resistance level. So gold on the weekly time frame, it is very evident that price is heading to this resistance level of sensitivity. But the question is, how can we pick our buys to the upside on gold? Let's find out as we take it again to the daily time frame. This is the daily time frame of gold, and if you look at the daily time frame, you can see that buyers are what? Continuously pushing price to the upside here on the daily. So look at this movement on the daily time frame. It's what? It is indeed, or price is indeed heading where? To the upside on gold. So gold, this what? Movement on the daily time frame signifies that buyers are still in control. They are definitely pushing price to this resistance level. But let's take it to a 4-hour time frame. Understand this area very well on the 4-hour before we pick our entry to the upside on gold. So gold, taking it again to the 4-hour time frame to prepare for the entries. This is the 4-hour time frame of gold. Now gold in the 4-hour time frame, we have, let's say, equal lows is here. This is also equal highs. What happened over here on the 4-hour? The equal highs have been broken by buyers with a push. After a push, we expect to see retest as higher low before price does what? Goes all the way to the upside. So gold on the 4-hour time frame, buyers should be able to break above this resistance level, or they have broken above this resistance level with a push, wait for the retest, and then we buy all the way to the upside. So gold, this is also a full and complete technical breakdown. It's as simple as that. Once price is able to complete the retest, that is where we will come in and start looking for opportunities to buy to the upside on gold. So gold, this is also our full breakdown. Let's go to the next pair, which I love very well. It's going to be BTC USD. Bitcoin is the next pair. All right, let me take it again to the 3 months time frame of this pair and also break it down for you guys. This is the 3 months time frame of BTC USD. Now BTC USD, first of all, let's get the understanding on the 3 months. We have the upper zone, the middle zone, and then the lower zone. Price is in an uptrend over here. We have this push as higher high, this retest as higher low, new higher high has dropped in, higher low from here. Where do we go next? We should be able to move to the upside. So BTC USD, we are going to be looking for buying opportunities from this one support level of the 3 months to go to the upside. But how exactly can we pick our buys on BTC USD? Let's take it further down to the monthly and continue. This is the monthly time frame of BTC USD. Now BTC USD on the monthly, we have the monthly upper and the monthly lower zone. What has price done here on the monthly? Sellers have been able to break below the support level or the higher low of the monthly with a push to the downside. And after this push to the downside, sellers have made contact with the support level of the 3 months, which carries a lot of buy pressure. So we are expecting that support level to push the market up to complete lower high here on the monthly time frame. So BTC USD, there should be buy pressure here for retest as lower high, back here as the what? As the structure of the market. So since higher low has been broken, we're expecting what? Retest from the what? The monthly support, which is coming in with the buy pressure to complete that lower high for us before we can what? Continuously buy as well. So how do we buy here exactly? That's the question. Let's take it again to a weekly time frame. Also understand the weekly structure and how the market will be moving to the upside on Bitcoin. So BTC onto the weekly. This is the weekly time frame of BTC USD. And if you look at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, we have the weekly mid-range zone. Price is in a downtrend here on the weekly. Why? We have this push as lower low, this retest as lower high, this also another lower low. What's going to happen again? We should get another retest as lower high. So on the weekly time frame, there's also buy pressure needed over here to complete the weekly what? Lower high on the weekly structure that price currently in. So they're looking for all the buying opportunities on this one. Support level at 3 months makes a lot of sense on the monthly and also here on the weekly, because on the weekly price needs to complete that lower high before it drops or before it breaks structure and continues to the upside. All right, so now that we understand that price we buying from here to the upside, let's take it again to daily time frame where we can add more meaning to the breakdown. This is the daily time frame of BTC USD. Now BTC USD on the daily, we have the daily mid-range zone over here. On the daily time frame, price has given us what? This beautiful downtrend. And I remember we said that we're looking for opportunities over here to the upside, which is the 3 months higher low. That is where we're looking for the buying opportunities. So BTC USD, obviously this is where we should look for the buys to the upside, but we can't pick the buy on the daily time frame. Let's go back to the 4-hour time frame where we can add or look for the buys to the upside. This is the 4-hour time frame of BTC USD. Now BTC USD has dealt with me these couple of days because I took 2 trades on this pair and all of that has been able to hit my TP. Okay, so I think there was a buy here that I took and then a buy here that I also took. Okay, they've all been able to hit my stop loss, but that doesn't mean that price is changing direction. We are still in the movement to the upside. Now, how are we going to pick an entry on this current 4-hour time frame? Now, this current 4-hour time frame is a downtrend, a push lower low, lower high, price is dropping all the way down. So before we can get in buys on BTC USD again, I will need price to break what? Structure before I'll be able to buy. So whichever way that the market is going to break structure, I will come in and look for opportunities to the upside. So if price is able to pick buy pressure anywhere around here, goes up, breaks above this lower high, gives me a higher high, higher low, I will get into the upside in this manner. So BTC USD, this is one of the ways that I'm looking for opportunities to buy. Price can also move in this manner. Okay, let me show you another way that price can also move. Price can also give us a double confirmation, break structure, and then move to the upside, the same scenario. So these are all same scenarios that we can look for and pick buys on BTC USD to the upside, right? So BTC USD, this is also a full and complete technical breakdown. Any form of break of structure here, you come in and then pick the buys to the upside. Okay, so with this manner, this will be equal lows, this will be lower high, this will be higher high, this will be higher low, and that is where we pick our entry to the upside, right? Let's move to the last one board, which is going to be the EUR NZD. So EUR NZD is the last pair for the market analysis today. This is EUR NZD. I've been watching this pair for a very long time, okay, and I think price is getting nearer to entry. Now, EUR NZD, what is happening? Let's find out very quick. Now, EUR NZD on the 3 months time frame, what we are seeing currently on the 3 months is a range or a consolidation. Why? This is the 3 months upper and this is the 3 months lower zone. This is equal lows of the 3 months. This is also equal highs of the 3 months. So if you look close, you realize that what? Price has been moving in a horizontal manner for a very, very long time. So within this range, where will price be able to go? Price will be moving to the upside to the equal highs of the range. Now, since you have been able to determine the direction on the 3 months, which is to the upside, what are we going to do? We are going to be looking for buying opportunities that will take us all the way up on EUR NZD. So EUR NZD, how do we pick our buys? Let's take it again to the monthly time frame where we can put more meaning into this analysis. This is the monthly time frame of EUR NZD. Now EUR NZD on the monthly time frame, we have the monthly lower and the monthly upper zone. This is equal highs of the monthly that has been broken with a push to the upside. Where is this supposed to end? This push is supposed to end here as the next higher high. It's as simple as that, alright? So equal highs has been broken on the 3 months or the monthly resistance level. Price has broken above it beautifully, so we should end up here as the next higher high. Now the question is, how is price going to end up here as the next higher high? And how are we going to buy along to the upside? Let's consult the weekly time frame for clues. This is the weekly time frame of EUR NZD. Now EUR NZD here on the weekly, price says it all. that we are moving to the upside. We have the weekly upper and then the weekly lower zone. This is a push as higher high. We have an exhaustion as higher low, higher high again, higher low. Where do we go from here? We move to the upside to complete the monthly higher high. I hope you guys remember. So EUR NZD, this is where we are looking for the buying opportunities to the upside. And I can see a candlestick for a pattern over here, which is this morning star candle confirmation, which is going to bring more buy pressure that will eventually push the market to the upside. But EUR NZD, let's take it again to the daily time frame. Look at the daily sale and how we can pick entries as we take you to the 4-hour time frame. This is EUR NZD on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame of EUR NZD, price is in a downtrend. We have the daily mid-range over here. This is a push as what? Equal lows. This also what? Lower high. Once price gets here, it will become what? Equal highs. But can we buy within this daily uptrend? No, we can't buy this daily uptrend. We are going to wait for price to break retest before we can buy to the upside. But the question is, will price be able to break above this lower high of the daily resistance to the upside? Yes. Why? Because we can see a morning star candle confirmation, which is definitely going to bring in more buy pressure that will be able to break to the upside before we can buy. So EUR NZD, our entries will be above the lower high on the resistance level of the daily to the upside. So how do we prepare for that? Let's go to a 4-hour time frame and then complete this analysis. This is the 4-hour time frame of the EUR NZD. How are we going to be able to pick our buys to the upside on this pair? Now EUR NZD on the day, on the 4-hour time frame, we have the full each upper and the full each lower zone. Okay, price was initially in a range or a consolidation over here, but we can see the break above it. Where should price go next? Once price sits here, we will definitely see a retest, but this one where we are looking for the buys, looking for the buys above. So EUR NZD, this will be our full and complete technical analysis. Entries will come in above the daily lower high to the upside. So EUR NZD, this is also our full and complete technical breakdown. Simple as that. Simple as that. So if I've enjoyed the analysis that I've done over here, kindly go to my profile. On my profile here, make sure to click on this link and then join the free Telegram channel. Okay, the free Telegram channel is where a lot of things are done. Okay, we share signals, we set setups and many more. So make sure that you go to my profile, click on this link and then join the free Telegram channel. Thank you for coming in tonight or this afternoon. Stay classy, stay classy. I'll see you guys in the next analysis. Peace.